Hello and welcome to the Pasta Grannies podcast. In each episode, my guest and I celebrate our Pasta Grannies by cooking one of their delicious home recipes. And of course, it's the guest's choice. Today, I'm joined by Ben Lippett. Ben, come on in.
Hello.
How lovely to meet you.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Did you find us okay?
I did.
Come through. He's a chef, food writer, content creator and purveyor of his own hot honey. His Instagram account, Dinner by Ben, has over 500,000 followers and is full of delicious looking recipes. Ben has chosen to recreate Vanda's cappellacci di zucca, pumpkin ravioli. And for those of you celebrating Thanksgiving, it might be a good dish to try. We filmed with Vanda in Emilia-Romagna several years ago now, and I'm looking forward to revisiting her pasta. Welcome to the Pasta Grannies podcast. This week I have Ben Lippett, who is going to be making, what are you going to be making?
I'm going to be making Vanda's pumpkin cappellacci, which I'm very excited about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vanda was one of our early Pasta Grannies, and this video is in fact 10 years old. So we'll be going down memory lane, as well as finding out more about Ben. So let's go.
Great.
You're missing a board. I'm going to go and get the board.
Okay, great. And we're going to roll this out with the...
Mano.
By hand.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. I've never done that. I've never used the rolling pin and done... So that's what I'm excited about doing today.
Okay, so it's a... Right.
I've been slave to the pasta machine.
If you don't want to, we have got a Mercato there.
No, I'm going to take this on.
But I like the challenge.
Absolutely.
I like the can do.
Yeah.
This.
Oh, here you go. Let me take that. Yeah.
And they're only really this size in Emilia-Romagna because of the way they roll out their sfoglia.
Yeah.
Everywhere else, you'll get smaller boards, smaller pins, smaller everything.
So we're going big.
We're going
big today. Okay, cool.
Actually, with that amount of pumpkin, you don't need to go big.
No.
Unless you particularly want the challenge of a larger...
Oh, I don't know if my first rodeo, whether I should go too big. Maybe let's be...
Let's try with... I always think of 3-egg
Three-egg dough?
A 3-egg dough is a nice amount to work with. If you get too small a quantity, although that's all you need, it gets a bit meh.
Sure.
Yeah,
okay.
So we'll go for 3 eggs.
Okay, let's do it.
How are you? I reckon that since you are a beginner in terms of Amano, we should weigh out your ingredients.
Absolutely. I'm a big fan of
weighing.
Yeah.
Good.
We like to be precise.
The chefing. Tell me how you got into chefing.
Well, I mean, I got into chefing after university, really. I mean, kind of quite late. I studied American history. Well, I studied American studies at Sussex University, which is basically American history. Mm-hmm. And then I went to live in the States. I was living in New York and needed a job that would pay me cash. And I was kind of into cooking. Well, I was more into eating than I was cooking. Which I think,
it's a good place to start.
It's a good place to start, and I think if you're going to try and get into cooking and be a chef or work in the restaurant industry, you've got to be a good eater, I think, because otherwise you're just not going to enjoy it. But anyway, I got into it, in the States, because I just needed cash, and kind of my roommate had a friend who was a chef, and they were like, oh, they'll give you a job. So I kind of really fell into it. Yeah. But then ended up going to work more than I did school, and then
dropped out?
That was that. No, I didn't. I went back to the UK and finished my degree, and then was like, right, I'm going to give this a go. Okay. Much to the horror of pretty much everyone in my life. But no, it's been a fun journey, that's for sure.
And you haven't wanted to give up or anything like that?
No.
Return to normal jobs?
No, I mean, well, I think I spent a good 7-8 years working in restaurants, and it's far from a normal job doing that. And I think I always quite liked the fact that it wasn't normal and the hours are a bit wild and the kind of lifestyle is different and it's exciting. And I feel like you go through emotions and experiences that you just don't get in other lines of work. I mean, of course, that can be said for lots of different professions, but there's just something about cooking that I just really, really fell in love with. Because I mean, as a young cook, it's so exciting because you go, you're full of adrenaline and you're, playing with fire and cooking, and it's just really exciting. And I love making things with my
You're
hands.
quite a kind of barbecue kind of guy, aren't you?
I'm quite,
Kind of
yeah.
fire
I
and
think
smoke and...
Yeah, I mean, it's during the summer. I do cook outside. I
Yeah.
love cooking outdoors.
Big, robust flavours.
Lots of, yeah. I mean, it's certainly, I wouldn't say my cooking is... I worked in fine dining for a little bit, and I really found out quite quickly that it wasn't for me. I quite like simple cooking, which is why I think I like pasta so much, because it is it's very simple expression of a few ingredients, which is, I think, the best way to cook. And then if you can do it outside,
Even better.
with some, smoke, which I think, is an irreplaceable flavour. Yeah, I mean, why not? I love it. Yeah. My favourite kind of cooking.
Well, let's start.
Yes, please.
So, this cappellacci are typical of Romagna, around the Ferrara area, Mantova and places. And you will come across a variety of recipes. Vanda's recipe used equal quantities of the 00 flour and semolina flour, which gives more bite to the actual pasta dough. Yeah. You don't have to do that. You can start with just plain 00 if you wish. It makes the dough more stretchy, as you're probably aware.
Yes. Maybe let's go with the 00 and just go for, because I feel if it's my first Amano experience, it might be a bit more forgiving. What do you think?
That's what I was very sort of polite.
You're pushing me in that direction. I could tell.
Yes.
Okay,
so
great.
Let's go for just plain 00 flour. So, 55% hydration. So I would go for 300.
300 grams.
Yeah. Yeah, so what is your experience of pasta making to date?
So after I came back from the States and I went to university in Brighton.
You're cracking eggs into your little bowl.
Into my little bowl.
I'm just reminding myself about, this is an audio thing, not a visual.
300 grams, so what weight am I shooting for? 55.
It's 165.
Smashing.
So you will find your 3 eggs will not be 165 grams. So you're cracking 2 in, how many grams is that?
115.
Yeah.
So this might be more.
Let me give you a fork to beat the...
Thank you very much.
So where were we?
I was talking about, I worked at a restaurant called Chin Chin in Brighton. And I'd been working at an approximate kind of fine dining restaurant, and I was like, this is naff. I don't want to make any more gels or
Spitty
foams
bits.
or... It's just too much, I don't know, too much faffing around.
Yeah.
And I remember going to eat at this restaurant, and it was in an old car garage, and it was a pasta bar, and it had a kind of horseshoe-shaped bar, and it had 20 seats, and they'd be open for lunch and dinner every day. And it was one cook, one front of house, so somebody managing the floor, and then a KP, and that was it. Just one person in there, roll pasta in the morning, pasta in the afternoon, and do like a few kind of small startery bits and 2 desserts, and it was such a cool little restaurant. I was like, I want to work there. Yeah. So yeah, I made an awful lot of pasta there, really a lot, because we'd. So.
In a restaurant situation, I think it's very difficult to keep making pasta by hand. You have to use a machine to get through. I mean, to even break even, you need to get through quite a lot of pasta helpings.
You do. I mean, even despite the fact it is sometimes, flour and water, they say, are the best things to do in restaurants. Yeah. Because they're cheap. Yeah. But pasta's a lot of work. Yeah. Isn't it?
So tipping it out onto the board.
And then,
yeah. So, ooh, lovely. That's a good way of doing it. Dumping your bowl into the middle. So
yeah, the egg bowl, and then you know that it'll fit, I suppose.
That's a good idea.
So, I'm going to start whisking it, or using the fork just to mix it.
So I love this moment of when you're kind of gently incorporating little bits of flour as you whisk. I think it's a very zen moment.
It is really nice. I mean, the problem with doing it in a restaurant is there are very few zen moments when you're working in a restaurant. Very few. I mean, it's easier if you're working by yourself and it's early in the morning. I used to, you start early, and so the job number 1 every day is make dough. Yeah. And I just have a little coffee and put music on and then do this. But
yes,
even then,
playlist. You like playlists?
I love music. Yeah, I also love playlisting. Yeah.
So what is do you have genres? 1, 2? I mean, do you just love?
It's pretty. I cast a wide net for sure. I mean, my partner works in the music industry, and she puts me onto so much different stuff. Okay. But I mean, it really, really, really ranges from kind of like ambient classical stuff to hardcore and punk, and I mean, I really love just good music. I like to say, as opposed to pigeonholing too much. But I mean, this is definitely more of a Zen music activity.
Yes, because in fact you do playlists with your Substack. Tell us about
That's
your
do-
How
yeah,
did
yeah,
your
I do.
Substack come about?
Well, I was
First of all, tell us what a Substack is.
so a Substack. Well, Substack is a publishing platform
Okay.
for folks, I suppose, like me, who want to you self-publish your writing, and I wanted to find a place that I could monetize what I was doing, and well, first of all, distribute what I was doing. And so every week I write a recipe or something about food, and I wanted a platform, to get it out there, to get it into people's hands easily. As you know, print media is basically gone at this point, and it's what it is.
Completely ruined. Yes.
It's kind of like in the same way that you can go on YouTube
Yeah.
and upload anything that you've made to an audience of whoever wants to see it.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same principle with writing and words.
Yeah.
And that I always after cooking always wanted to get into writing and get into writing recipes and writing about food and writing about, and now it's blossomed into every week I'll write about something that I've read or watched or heard or spoken to somebody about. I always write about an album, and I usually try and really vary it to kind of demonstrate all the different kinds of music I like to listen to. And if I've gone to see somebody play live, I'll write about the show.
Who was the last person you saw live?
The last really good show I saw that stuck in my head was probably, I went to see a guy called Bill Ryder Jones at the Barbican. He was in a band called The Coral, who if I played them, you'd recognise them.
Okay.
Dig it up.
So your newsletter goes out every week?
Every week, every Friday.
Okay.
I'm so surprised at how many people choose to read it.
How many people do? How many subscribers?
I think we're about just over 40,000 people now, which is.
That's very good.
Back to the pasta briefly.
Yes, sorry.
Shall I start using my hands now?
I think you should.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. And the aim is to incorporate all of the flour.
Yes. It should be okay, but panic not.
We'll see. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So yeah, it goes out every week. It's my favourite thing to do every week is to write the newsletter, because it's like there is also the moment of when you open the blank page and it's staring back at you and you go.
When do you kind of write it as you go along?
I write them. I try not to write them in advance. I find that I find that the writing is better. I mean, especially if I'm writing about music or something that I've read or watched that week, or I find doing it a few days ahead of release just works better for me. It's also I like to write seasonally and write about seasonal ingredients and seasonal cooking, and doing that a long way in advance is quite challenging, because you're not surrounded by the feeling of the season or the weather or the right ingredients.
I know, and the fact that this is the first sunny day in about a month.
I know, we're very lucky. It's beautiful.
It's lovely. So what's your favourite type of cooking?
What I enjoy writing about is quite technique driven.
Okay.
I really like kind of understanding the hows and whys behind food, and like why you choose
Harold
to.
McGee type thing.
Yeah, and kind of how why you might use butter instead of olive oil, or why you add salt then and not later. And my training, I suppose, or the restaurants I worked in were all very Eurocentric.
Yeah.
So Italian, French, British. I worked in Australia for a while, but in a kind of French restaurant, but just using Australian ingredients, which was an amazing experience. I mean, I've been really into. I've been doing lots of baking recently, so lots of bread, a bit more pastry, which has been very kind of theory heavy.
So how's your dough coming along?
Well, it feels a lot better. It went from being very wet, and then it went from being quite shaggy and dry into now.
There's always that moment of it being quite shaggy.
I'm gonna ditch that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because I think it might be a bit too dry. But it feels nice.
So something that Vanda, who actually unfortunately passed away in her 90s about 3 years ago.
Oh, that's a good run though.
Yeah, it's a good run.
Yeah.
And she continued to work in the restaurant until the very end.
Wow.
You couldn't stop her.
God, I only could hack 7 years. So I'm done.
Well, it helped it was her own restaurant. Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
of
there's
course.
all of that kind of matriarchal, 3 generations of women were working in La Campana di Iraclio, that's it. In the middle of nowhere, it's this wonderful sort of remote marshland reclaimed near Cordigoro. And so she started every day making pasta.
Amazing.
So I think it's a great therapy. It's keeps you fit as well, I think.
Absolutely.
When you're making these sort of large amounts of dough.
Huge, yeah. I mean, I'd be kind of needing definitely both arms.
Yes.
And really, you kind of use your whole body to do it. This is much more manageable.
And the key is to keep on. It looks smooth and quite nice now, but actually, keep going.
How do you know when enough is enough and we've kneaded it enough?
Probably timing it.
Timing it. Yeah.
10 minutes.
Okay, cool. Well, I bet carry on.
Yeah, also the way that it stretches, you can see that the gluten
it's
network
still
is
tearing if I.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So it's looking lovely, your dough.
It's definitely tightening up.
It's tightening
you
up.
can feel it getting
smooth
stronger.
And
What do you think?
looking good.
Okay. So how long do we rest that for?
Actually, as long as possible.
Yeah.
So they say 30 minutes minimum, but if actually we could have made it this morning and it would have been fine.
Okay.
So now it's the filling.
The filling.
Yeah. So I took 2 of the green, very dense pumpkins. They're kind of squashy ones. They're called Mantovana or green pumpkin or whatever you want, delica. And you could also use butternut squash, and you chop it up and you bake it, and then I find it easier to then remove the skins. Do you have a?
Yeah, likewise. I just cut it in half and then bake the half and then scoop it out. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what, and for about 20 minutes until it's soft. I have not added any oil or salt or anything like that, and it's over to Ben to.
We'll season it.
To season it with, in some cooks actually add sugar.
Really? Well, I think maybe with I think like a butternut squash.
We wanted your honey.
Oh, I know.
Can you tell listeners about your honey?
Well, my a little passion project on the side of writing and cooking is I make hot honey. It's called Dr. Sting's hot honey. But we take lovely blossom honey and infuse it with a few different types of dried chilies and add a little bit of vinegar, and it's the most amazing. Condiment come hot sauce. I mean, I put it on. I'm yet to find anything that I don't like it on, and that's what we always say to people. It kind of goes with everything.
Yes,
it's wicked. Yeah, I love it.
So I remember in New York trying a pizza that involved honey and andouille.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's where the kind of concept for Dr. Sting's came from.
Okay.
When I was living in New York, there's a pizza restaurant in a neighborhood called Crown Heights in Brooklyn, which is where I was living. And my friend of mine, Carter, took me to this restaurant called Barmacino, and he said, "You got to have this pizza, specifically this one." I can't remember what it was called, but it came with a little pot of honey. But he didn't tell me, and I kind of sat and it arrived. This guy put this pot of honey next to me and said, "I was like, well, what's that for?" He's like, "Pour it on the pizza." And that had never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
And I dumped it all over the pizza and ate it and was completely sold. And it was kind of one of those, there's lots of moments in my life anyway, but there's kind of little food moments that I remember that kind of are like little corner turns, and that's definitely one of them. Because it just stuck in my head for years and years and years and years. And I came back to the UK and I was like, well, no one's making hot honey. Why is no one doing that here? So during lockdown, obviously had a lot of time, all the restaurants were closed, so I was like, right, let's give it a go. Mm-hmm. And then that's kind of where it came from.
Did you have your own beehives?
No, stuff? Do you know, that's the first question folks ask me. And unfortunately not. I mean, my small flat in Peckham wasn't quite ready for
an ideal place.
Wasn't ready for the hive just yet. We looked for quite a long time into sourcing and where we were going to get the honey from. And we really wanted to make sure it was like top quality and looking into different varieties, and we're not relying too much on like really floral notes, or because we're going to bulldoze that with a bunch of chili. It's amazing.
What is your favourite combination with that honey?
Probably, I mean, pizza is kind of the greatest combination.
Okay.
It's just such a fantastic combination. But the reason it works so well is because of the kind of pizza is what carb and like cheese and
fat.
It's fat.
Yeah.
So when you add something sweet and spicy, and as long as there's something acidic, we add a little bit of vinegar to our hot honey, which is a little different to quite a few. It just sets everything off in the most amazing way, and it's so Moorish. I love it. But I mean, it's good on anything. I have it on toast. You could put it in this. You could put it in the pumpkin.
You could have put it in here or on it at the end with the cheese.
Yeah, I mean that would be delicious.
Well, we'll have to Is there a local stockist around here?
There's plenty. We've got lots across London. We've got lots across the UK.
Okay.
Yeah, so just head to the website and you can find all our stockists.
Yes. Okay, we have to rush out and try it with your cappellacci at the end. But
Can I just go straight off the...
You can go straight in.
Okay, good. Let's see how my arms are feeling today.
You've also got a lager.
I have a beer, yeah. I love my beer.
Well, you've got to drink something with your chili, honey.
Yeah, it's called Wiener Dog. I have a small Dachshund, and I love hot dogs. But it's a delicious beer, and you can get it...
What prompted you to do that?
Well, my friend Clark and Jen own an amazing brewery in Brighton called Hand Brew Co.
Yeah.
They look after the best pub in Brighton. I used to live in Brighton, called the Hand in Hand, and it's just the nicest little spot. And they asked me, they said, do you know, they have this amazing series called Art You Can Drink. So they basically work with different creative people to develop a beer that they'd like. And the guy who did it before me was David Shrigley, the artist. Mm-hmm. He made a beer called Toad Liquor, which was, it's so delicious. It's so nice. And then I was really flattered that they came and asked me because, I suppose Clark and Jen love food, and they used to come and see me at Chin Chin, and I'd make them lunch, and they were like, well, in a way, cooking's a really creative outlet, and we'd love to work with you on it. And then we just started chatting about it and figured out.
How do you go about designing or creating a lager?
Well, I mean, my job was to decide the style of beer. I mean, I'm not a brewer. I don't know a huge amount about beer, but I know what I like to drink.
And all that kind of thing.
Yeah, so I worked with Kate, their head brewer, and we chatted about beers that I liked and what we'd like to get out of it. And we wanted it to be a good beer to drink with food. Nothing too, some beers now are like a full meal. There's so much flavour going on and different things infused into the brew, and we wanted something that was really clean. I really like drinking lager. I think it's a brilliant beer. Right, I'm gonna start mashing this up.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, great.
I mean, you can have a masher if you like.
No, this is, probably my favourite tool in the kitchen. This.
Yeah, spatula, spoon.
Silicone spatula.
And what prompted you to choose this recipe?
So out of the ones that I was looking at, I think this, for the time of year and now, this is the one that was calling out
November.
to me. Absolutely. Now is November. It's a little cooler, and pumpkins and squashes are just at the absolute peak. Yeah, I love anything that's, a pasta that's kind of liaised with sage butter. Yeah. Is pretty hard to beat. Yeah. And I remember making a pumpkin stuffed pasta at one of my first cooking jobs, and it going not that well. And I remember my head chef he was one of my favourite head chefs, and he was brilliant, and he just kind of coached me through it and taught me, about how wet the filling should be and how it should be. You used to bake the pumpkin, and then we twice baked it, so it just got rid of more moisture. Because in the restaurant, you'd make the pasta and then it would sit, and then if it's too wet, then it starts to destroy the structure of the dough. And I remember that was one of my first proper pasta experiences, and I loved all of the little lessons I took from it. Were really, and they've stuck with me. So, and I hadn't made it in such a long time, so I thought,
let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. And then I knew that, I expected that you'd let me have a go with the rolling pin. So I was like, right, we'll do that one, I think.
Excellent. So, shall we add a bit of salt as well?
We'll do maybe a tiny bit of salt.
I can certainly taste the cheese.
The cheese is there. I don't want to go too much more, so I'll just do...
Add a bit of salt.
A little bit of salt. Right, should we let that hang out for a while? Yeah. And see if it changes?
And then...
Okay, cool. I'll pop that over there.
Now let's get the rolling pins.
Pins? We got a few. So it's interesting, feeling the dough now, this feels, if I'd made this however many years ago, I would be terrified at how wet that is.
Do you want to add a bit more flour?
No, because I think I've been making pasta very, very, very dry.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're putting it through a machine, it needs to be drier.
Because I don't think I'd want to put that through a machine. I think I'd have to...
No, you wouldn't.
I like to do I'd have to do loads and loads of flour.
The hydration is different when you put it through a machine.
Yeah.
So it does need, this is fine.
Great. I'll relax.
So that ideally, you don't need lots of flour if you've got the hydration right.
Yes, that's what I mean. When I kind of talk about pasta, because I've done a few recipes and videos on pasta. Yeah. And I think the thing that people do at home, is make a really wet dough
Yeah.
and then just chuck flour all over their
Yes.
kitchen, all over themselves,
Yeah.
all over the pasta, and then it's like, this is a horrible experience. And I think if you dial in that hydration, it's just
Yeah.
a joy, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It should be fine. So let's see.
Let's see what we've done,
Yes.
yeah. So,
So,
let's unwrap
let's
it and have a look.
Yeah.
How long did that rest for? Not all that long.
No, about 23 minutes.
Wow.
Ooh. I mean, you can, of course, roll right away. It's just, as you know, it'll just
gonna
be springy.
Yeah.
So you want to create a disc.
Okay.
So that means turning it regularly. You kind of roll it. It's like making pastry.
Perfect.
And so what you're pressing on the outside, and that's fine. But as you get bigger,
Yeah.
you're kind of, I do it the wrong way around, but you're smoothing your hands along the board to create even pressure over the pasta dough.
And that's as it comes out along
Yeah.
the
Yes, as you're smoothing
pin.
it, you'll get to the point where you can flip it over. Now turn it around. So I just have
Go
to
on,
kind of just
step in. Oh yeah, you got them. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
So you really got to move quickly.
Yeah, and keep it close to you.
Okay.
Otherwise, you end up over here, and it's
Yeah.
like you're not pushing, and then your pressure is not quite the same. And then eventually, you'll get to the point where you can start doing that. But it's not quite there yet.
Yeah, I don't think I'm quite ready for that either.
Do you want to let it rest a little bit?
Maybe, yeah. Let's let it hang out a bit, and then
I think
we'll come back to it.
Yes. Finish our cup of tea.
Yeah, lovely.
So you're getting married.
I'm getting married.
So
Yeah.
your lovely partner is called
Louisa.
Louisa.
Yeah. And she's
in music.
she works in the music industry. Yeah, she works for a festival called Green Man. But yeah, she worked in music for years and years and years, as long as I've been cooking. And it's a brilliant combination.
Where did you meet? In New York? Or?
We did meet in New York. Yeah. We were at the same university, but we'd never met. And there was this kind of unwritten rule when because a lot of folks from my course went all over the States, and if you wanted to travel, which of course everyone did, and if you went to a new city and there was somebody from our university there, you just drop them a line and be like, "Do you mind if I stay with you?" Because, I mean, especially in New York, it was so expensive. None of us had any money. So my friend Anna brought Lou along to New York, and then they ended up staying in my flat. And then that's how we met, yeah. And that was quite a long time ago now.
That's good. We could also watch Vanda if you like, to see how her technique.
Let's do it.
Shall we do
Absolutely,
that?
yeah.
We've got that.
Was very good at using the heels of her hands to knead the dough.
So we did this in the garden because the kitchen was so. Granny's kitchens are always really dark and really small.
Yeah.
Once the pasta is smooth,
So this isn't at the restaurant?
No,
No.
this is their home in Ferrari.
Yeah. That dough looks quite firm.
Yeah. Well, she used she used the.
Semolina, yeah.
Yeah.
began
Yeah.
making pasta in her family's grocery store, which made lunchtime snacks. for
She's
hot
moving, yeah.
meals. And it grew to be a proper restaurant where she made pasta for several decades.
So she's less worried about perfection. She's just kind of like
Getting it done.
getting it
She
done.
rolls the pasta thin enough to
All right, shall we give it a go?
Yeah. So it's just kind of like, don't be too polite with it.
Oh, I think I was just a little bit apprehensive.
Yes, I think you just have to get on with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roger that.
What are your 3 essential gadgets?
I think a microplane is a really useful thing to have. Microplane is super useful. I think a peeler, like a speed peeler, like a Y peeler, is so useful. And I
Yes.
never leave, if I go and do an event or cooking job or anything, I never leave home with that one. And if they're too blunt, because over time people don't replace them, but when they're brand new and razor sharp, they're brilliant. And I mean, a knife is obviously super important, but that's quite boring.
Are you precious about your knives?
No, do you know? No, I'm not. I'm really not that. As long as it's sharp,
Yes.
I don't really mind. Because people can get really, really kind of nerdy about knives.
Yeah.
But it's not really
Not your thing.
my thing. No, I mean, I bought one knife when I first started cooking, like professionally. I spent quite a lot of money on a knife, and I still have it, and it's still my favourite knife. It's called a Misono UX10, and it's just, yeah, that's it.
Is that a Japanese knife?
Well, it's a Japanese. It's forged in Japan, but they use Swedish steel because they, like Japanese steel can sometimes be quite finicky to take care of.
Yeah.
And this it's pretty bulletproof, so it's pretty easy to use and look after. Stays sharp for ages as well, which is. So how thin are we aiming to go with
very
this?
thin. Ben is making a grand job of rolling it out.
I'm doing my
now
best.
he's got rid of his politeness with the dough. And it's just giving it some welly.
It's definitely growing.
It's definitely growing. And we're at the moment where you're nearly at the point where you can kind of roll it around your pin and then kind of speed things up a bit.
Okay, and that makes it faster.
Yeah. And then the other thing you can do is start draping it off the edge.
Hang it over the edge.
Because that also anchors it. And
then you can kind of push away.
Yeah, and it's keeping it quite close to you, so you don't have to stretch too far.
Yeah.
If you're tall, like you,
I'm quite long. I've quite long arms.
So you don't. It's less important for you.
Yeah.
What's your favourite pasta shape?
Oh, I really love long pasta.
Okay.
Really like tagliolini, or I mean, I'd really just love dried spaghetti. To be honest, I really love it. I mean, it's probably the one that I cook with the most. Or like I love rigatoni. I quite like pastas that are robust.
They're dried pastas.
I love dried pasta.
Yeah.
I love dry, and I think sometimes, for some things, I much prefer it to fresh.
Yeah. I mean, they're not. Fresh pasta isn't always better than dried pasta. It has different roles, different uses. So, I mean, everybody who makes fresh pasta has dried pasta in the cupboard. So, yeah. Looking good.
Yeah, I think it looks okay. It's still quite thick.
It is, yes. It's a 3-egg dough.
So, and for a 3-egg dough, how big are you?
It's going to take up most of that board.
Okay. Right, we've got some work to do then.
Yeah. So you can't talk about all your plans for the future, but you're getting married next year.
I'm getting married. I am working on a new project that has a cover and some pages. But I mean, I can't say too much more about it yet.
Yeah. So we'll look forward to
so
hearing more about it.
More on that soon.
When's the announcement on that one?
Hopefully quite soon in the new year.
Great.
But I'll be talking about it on the Substack and
on
Instagram, and we just launched.
So the name of your Substack is Dinner with Ben, is it?
How I Cook.
How I Cook. Okay.
Yeah, and the kind of the rationale for it is really a chef's guide to home cooking, and I really like to draw upon the kind of tips and the little tricks that I learned in the restaurant industry, because there are so many. Because I think a lot of things that chefs do, people find a mystery. Things like, brining a piece of meat or salting a piece of fish before you cook it, or people think it's like kind of magic and they can't do it at home, when in fact it's all very easy.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's kind of gate kept a little bit. No one really speaks about it.
And how do you like to celebrate Christmas?
How do I like to celebrate Christmas?
Go home to your...
Yeah, go home to the family.
Yeah.
See the folks.
In terms of cooking?
Do some cooking. Yeah, we do keep it quite traditional, really.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's talk this year of not having turkey, which I wouldn't be. I do like turkey, but I don't think I'd miss it if we didn't eat it.
Was your grandmother an influence on your cooking?
I thought you were going to say influencer then.
No.
No, absolutely she was. She, my mum's mum is the last lady standing of the grandparents, and she is a wonderful, wonderful cook. She used to be she used to teach home economics, and she's taught in prisons, and she's done all sorts with food. She's a brilliant, brilliant cook. Big inspiration for me, younger.
Is she famous for any particular recipes, or?
Oh, heaps. So many, yeah. Okay. Well, she used to make, we were in a cookbook together when I was younger.
Okay.
Where I grew up, there was a kind of like, where she lived, there was a little town cookbook. And she was in the Women's Institute, she used to do loads of baking. So her and I made honey biscuits. My two sisters are in it as well, which is just a really, really simple honey biscuit. But they're just, they have a really special place in my heart, and they're kind of growing up, and that's always what I think of when I think about her and her cooking.
And she's still cooking?
Absolutely, yeah.
How
cooking
old is
beautifully. She is 86, I believe, yeah.
So we've got this lovely dough, which is now about 60 centimetres.
Yeah, it's really grown.
It's really grown. Tell me about your experience of Thanksgiving.
So I had one Thanksgiving when I was living in New York.
And Thanksgiving is when? When is that in November?
I believe it's the last Thursday of November.
Okay.
I was invited to go to my friend Oliver's house.
Yeah.
And he lives in his parents had this amazing house in Carroll Gardens in Brooklyn. And they were antique dealers.
Oh.
And the whole thing was just It was like something out of a film. It was so cool. The kitchen was incredible, huge table, and there was about like 25 people, all family, and then there's me, just kind of. And it was a kind of a potluck. So the idea of a potluck is you take a dish, take a dish along, and you have to contribute something. So I took Yorkshire puddings, and they were all so confused when I showed up. And they were like, what are these for? And in the States, they call them popovers.
Ah.
Have you heard of those?
No.
No, neither had I. I was like, well,
No,
yeah.
no. Anyway, so popovers.
Popovers, and then it's just like how we do Christmas. Really.
Yeah.
It's just one big meal and one big hang, and everyone drinks a lot of wine. And we definitely had pumpkin pie, and I remember there being a kind of pumpkin bake as well, almost like a gratin, or it was quite a long time ago. I remember there being marshmallows involved.
With their pumpkin?
Yeah.
Good.
The honey has arrived.
Oh, fantastic.
The honey has arrived. We're so excited by the idea of Ben's hot honey.
Hot honey.
Hot honey, that we got the delivery of the hot honey. Good, so now you need to make cappellacci.
Yes.
And they're about 7 centimetre, 8 centimetre, so they're quite large.
Yeah. I think I've made something similar, because I watched the video and I watched Vanda shape them. I think I've made something similar, but...
I mean, no matter how you shape them, they'll taste the same.
Yes.
Okay, but so we're going to make little hats, and they're not too small. So it's like cappellacci is telling you that it's a reasonable
the
size.
lacci is the bit.
Yeah.
Okay, that denotes the size.
Okay, so you can get precise about this and kind of use your rolling pin to kind of keep the line straight.
Oh, go on, I'll do that. Yeah. And what about this kind of curved edge? Am I looking to straighten that off?
You just discard those.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're aiming for squares. So you have to get rid of all the wiggly bits. So Ben is using the rolling pin to cut
that was a bit
straight
thin.
lines.
That was a bit skinny, that one. Are these for closing ravioli then? Is that what those teeth do?
Yes, I think that's what it is.
Perfect. What
Let's
a
just use
stitch up. You've given him the wrong tool.
I'll tell you what.
Should we knife?
Let's just use a knife.
Do you mind if I just grab one?
Yeah.
That's a bread knife.
No,
We don't
it's a
want
bread
that.
knife.
Let's use
How
that.
about a kind of choppery type one? So we've now
Exactly.
got a whole bunch of squares.
Shall I start popping some little dots of pumpkin on here?
Yeah.
Great. I'm going to crack on. So I'm just putting little teaspoons, or kind of half, because I've cut my squares quite small. I'm putting little half teaspoons of the pumpkin mixture in the middle of each square. I'm kind of guessing, because from memory from the video, and then I've made a little triangle with the filling in the middle, and then I'm just going to kind of join these two up. How does that look? Is that kind of what we want?
Yes.
Great. I'll pinch it so then the pasta's all roughly the same thickness. But I think I've been quite generous with the filling, so I've made it quite tricky for myself.
Yeah. So
There we go, confirmed.
you've now got, I would call that an isosceles triangle. I don't know if that's true or not. Mathematicians amongst you will correct me. So you've got the two kind of narrow angles there. Stick your thumb underneath it like that. Your middle finger, little forefinger, that's a forefinger. And then you wrap it around your finger, and you've got like a duck's tail, like that.
And what does the word mean? Little hat?
Cappellacci
Or big hat?
is cappelletti, like it's a variation on cappelletti, which is a hat, isn't it?
Technically, cappellacci, the word means ugly hat.
Ugly hat. Well, mine are
hats.
definitely ugly hats.
Now, these are definitely not your supper in a rush.
No.
Midweek supper. These are what you would serve at.
This is a special occasion.
Special occasion
Pasta.
things, and there's probably. I mean, obviously, if you're eating it in a restaurant, then you would expect it. Christmas Eve.
Because I mean, you must have to make so many of these to feed a crowd of
That's right.
a hungry Italian family. There must be like hundreds of them. Thanksgiving pasta.
It is but then I mean, traditionally it was always a group thing. I mean, you didn't do this on your
You
own.
wouldn't go solo.
No. I mean, you have everybody in the family kind of joining in to
The Nonna is running the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what of the future? What do you envisage yourself opening a restaurant, just becoming a cookery book writer?
I mean, I would love to just write books and carry on the writing, because I mean that's what I really enjoy doing. And the restaurant industry is a really, really tough business. It's a really tough business, and I've spent some years in that industry, and I don't know whether I could go back to it just yet. I don't see that really on the horizon for me. I'm really enjoying the writing, and I would really love to continue doing that. And I really enjoy making. I've just started doing kind of longer form videos, which I'm really enjoying doing on YouTube.
Ah, longer form. How
really
longer
nice.
form?
Between 10 and 15 minutes.
Ah.
So I'm really enjoying that process, and I'm trying to really be quite open-minded about what's next and what might come along. But I mean, to be honest, if I can carry on doing what I'm doing now, I'll be very happy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel very lucky to be doing what I'm doing, and I'm fully aware that there are literally thousands and thousands of cooks who would bite my arm off to do what I'm doing. So as long as I can keep doing this, I'll be very, very pleased.
Do you think we have enough there?
I'd say we've got enough for a plate of food. So I feel like my pasta could have been a little thinner.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think that's one of the keys with pasta is you think you've done it, and then you have to do it a little bit more.
yes,
And it is hard.
it is hard.
Yeah. I've now put the water on to boil for the cappellacci. Oh, that's the other thing we must do.
What's that?
With the butter and the sage.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Um,
Now, how precious are because when I've served pasta in
Yeah.
butter and sage, the chefs are very, very precious about it not splitting and it being a lovely emulsion.
Oh,
Do we care about that?
no.
Perfect. That's yes. That's great.
So butter is here and...
Beautiful.
Yeah.
We've got some sage there as well.
Ben is now prepping the condimento, the dressing for the cappellacci, which is butter and sage. So melted butter and then sage fried in it to flavour it. Don't eat the sage unless you really want to.
Oh, I always eat the sage. I always eat the
sage. A
sage.
really strong flavour.
I love it. It's
I
also
like the- I like the-
medicinal, isn't it?
Yeah, I
I
really
love it.
like it, the flavour in the butter, but
Yeah.
actually sort of chewing on the leaf is...
Have you got a little plate I can put these little pastas on? What are we going to put our pasta on?
Yes, that's a good question.
So how long are we going to cook these for, do you think?
Until they're cooked.
That's a good answer. That's what I always tell people when they ask me a question, and they go, that's a really annoying answer.
That's a
but
really annoying answer,
it-
and I'm sorry that I can't be more precise.
No, I know, I mean-
They might pop to the front. They might start bobbing to the surface.
Quick question for you.
Yes.
So my instinct is now to kind of toss this in the melted butter
Yeah.
and to add a little bit of water. Would you do that, or is it just
No, I
straight
wouldn't.
butter? There we go, perfect. So it's interesting because I've been taught that to make this that like kind of like emulsion sauce, you like add a bit of water and a bit of butter and it like.
Well, if you want to.
I know.
I mean, we haven't been very
I'd like to-
traditional.
We're about to cover it in
But
hot
can
honey,
you,
so I feel
everybody,
like we can do.
enjoy this. There.
I mean, that's
Lovely.
lovely.
I love watching people toss their pasta like that.
It's the best bit.
Best bit.
Best bit of the whole thing.
Ben
Oh, so I mean, it's
tossing
kind
his
of getting that. It kind of has that little texture now. It starts to thicken a little bit and really.
Do you think
coat
it
the
needs
pasta.
the water? I don't think.
Well, maybe
does.
it doesn't. I mean, when you make emulsions in like French cookery or any cookery really, I mean, it does. The butter does require some water to stay because it basically you're trying to get it to this. This is an emulsified butter.
Yes. Well, you can have water if you want.
No, I know. I'm very because it's actually like incredibly hard to do, and I won't be able to do it. So I'm very looking forward to eating this.
Yeah.
A bit more cheese.
Mm-hmm. Delicious. Now, do you think we should add the
I think
honey to that?
Well, let's try it without,
Okay.
and then we'll have a go with,
Yeah.
and then we get the full experience.
Okay. Go for it.
I'm going to.
It's very, 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 very.
It's pretty
Card
hot.
full.
Card full.
Card full.
It's delicious. Do you know what? I think we could have got away with a little bit more salt in it. Just a little bit.
Okay.
Maybe we put a bit more cheese on to help.
Great flavours.
Really nice. Pasta's a little thick, but
A little thing.
for my first try with the rolling pin.
I think it's an excellent first try.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm very pleased.
No, it's lovely flavours. Really, really good flavours.
I mean, they're
And
so classic, aren't they?
Yeah. You can't go wrong with it.
You can't.
And I think it's, hats off for actually attempting to do it by hand. I think it's quite scary.
It is, yeah. I mean, it is. And I think, it's going to be
And
the
I think
first of many.
I mean, everybody would love that. Everybody will love that when they
dig in.
when they dig in and stuff. So
Thanks
I'm
so
gonna
much
try one of
for
that.
showing me, yeah.
Absolute pleasure. Vanda would be completely thrilled that you were trying her recipe. She'll
Thank you for
be
passing it on.
delighted, yeah. And I'm now going to put some of your honey on this.
Oh
one.
yes, let's do it.
Cappellacci.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm actually really looking forward to this. I
Okay.
thought this would never go down in the Pasta Grannies world. It's really nice. God, that's really good. Is it sacrilege to say I think it's better? Yes, it is.
yeah.
God, it's
no,
good.
but
With like the salty cheese,
yeah.
sweet, the heat is lovely. Because I love cooking pumpkin with chilli as well. Chilli and sage and pumpkin are beautiful.
It's really, really good.
God, that was a good call.
Yeah.
So glad we got some. Thanks, guys.
Fantastic.
Wow, great. Come and try it.
Fantastic.
Come and
Yeah.
try it.
Really good. Thank you so much, Ben.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And I'm now going to give you a T-shirt.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, God, great.
So, as having a survivor of the Pasta Grannies podcast, making your own pasta,
Got
a
the
success
t-shirt.
of it. You've got the T-shirts.
Wow.
You're part of the Pasta Grannies family.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Absolute
That's so
pleasure.
kind.
I've
My
loved
pleasure.
meeting you, and all the best with all your projects.
Thank
and
you
look
so
forward to
much.
hearing them. And we'll see you next year in Puglia.
Absolutely. I'll meet you there. Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do check out the Pasta Grannies recipe we cooked today. You can find it on the YouTube channel on our podcast playlist, which will feature all the Grannies recipes we recreate here on the podcast. You can find us on Instagram at Pasta Grannies, and for extra content, head to our website, pastagrannies.com. Thank you for listening. Catch you next week.